Is this mic on? Okay, so let's get into it about today. If you don't know, I got a big win today, and I love to share my big wins. It was a lot of big wins because the market went up. It seems to be Trump has folded and pulled back and gave 90 days extension on a tariff. Now, after he did that, the market went up. You already know it was going up. That's what everybody was waiting for. Why did he do the 90 days extension? Why he folded, as you want to say? I believe really it was more pressure from us, from, America, not because of the China. I think it was more pressure from us because you got big money and you got the market going down. Then the bonds. Now the bonds, that was at a different level. So now look, in this video, I'm not about to talk about the bonds. That is a whole nother thing. Maybe I'll share it on the next video. But back to this win that I did. I also shared it in my community. This was going to happen regardless. This was bound to happen. If you've been watching the stock market and following along, any little news, good news, positive news, the stocks would shoot up skyrocket. So imagine now that Trump said, hey, I'm going to put a hold on the tariffs. But here's the thing, the market is at a low. So when the market has something crazy going on, it was down with wars before, it always bounced back. And the reason that it was down this time, it wasn't because of war or COVID or some natural disaster or something that we were really dealing with. It was because the president said, hey, I'm about to put these tariffs on. It was force. So that's the reason the market was down, because before, last year, the end of last year, the market was great. We were doing good. But here's the thing. This is where the money comes in. If y'all really want to make money as a trader, you got to kind of study the market and kind of go with the trend. When it's going down, you see it's going down. Also, you got to remember the market always bounces back, y'all. It always does that. And I had to look at the market, and I've seen so many good opportunities. And I had to look at the Mag 7, and I'm like, I'm not about to miss the boat this time. These stocks are at a great discount. It's like you going into the mall and seeing something that you really like and you knew you couldn't afford it, but now you can afford it and it's like on a crazy discount. You're going to want to buy it. And that's what I did with certain stocks. I went in on these stocks because I know that these stocks are low and they're going to bounce back. They're going to come back, especially if they're a great company. So those are the companies you want to look for. What companies that are performing at the lowest? Those are great deals. So in this trade that I did, and let's put some on the screen so you can see it. It was AAA, that's American Airlines, and they was just really down. They had been proceeding on the way down. So I got in early. I went what they call YOLO. I went all in on this one, and that's why I had the big win. But I noticed during the week, a little peak came, and I made a lot of money on that just peak off of that news. So I waited and said, if any little piece of news come in, this thing's going to go over the top. And that's what happened. That's exactly what it did. And that's how I really got this big win. But hey, those were some cheap calls. And if you're a trader, sometimes you cannot pass that up because the big money was seeing discounts in the market, and I bet they bought in. So as a trader, you got to always go with the trend, keep your eyes on the news. So that kind of taught us a lesson. The news matters, especially, with a tweet or just a message, how quickly the market could change. I didn't realize how important it was to be, knowing what's going on, watching the news. I really didn't watch the news other than when something drastic came on and it just popped on and I had to watch it. Now, that I got into stocks and start trading, hey, the news is something that you want to keep your eye on. And I didn't understand it back then when they used to put the up and the Dow was down back then on the news. I'm like, that is the boringest part of the news. Why are they showing these numbers? And they're talking about the Dow is down and stuff like this, or the Dow is up. I didn't understand it back then, but now I do understand it. And that's the main part of the news I'll be looking for when I watch the news now or the news pops on. I want to see what they said about what happened in the market. But one thing that also helped me back then when I started off trading was when I joined that one community and they was telling the news and what's going on. I could okay, I don't watch the news, but I'm learning what's going on here. And any news that's big or bad will move those charts, y'all. So you got to keep an eye on that. Now, the great thing about it is I offer that in my community. I offer different news alerts, trending, or if there's, meme coins or any type of stuff. I alert on volume. I alert on unusual options. That is news. That can drive a chart up or down. The great thing about that, hey, I got it down below if you want to sign up and join. You could trade with me. Please comment. Let me know what your thoughts on what has just happened, what has transpired, and where the market is going to go from now that we have 90 days until the tariffs come back on. And always, if any of this information helped you today, then please hit the like button. That helps me to get going and get further out there on the YouTube world. And make sure you subscribe so you can get videos just like this all the time.